Before we begin, if you want to see music bios or more good videos like this, hit the subscribe button. And without further ado, on to our feature presentation. Welcome back everyone. Today I want to count down the top 10 worst songs of 2022. I can safely say that 2022 was a disappointing year for hit music, as the good stuff weren't game changing and the bad stuff were, well, bad. We saw album bombs come and go, and to the embarrassment of 2022, several older songs charted better than the new ones. Anyway, to make this list is simple. For one, you have to be released in either late 2021 or 2022, and you must appear within the top 50 of the Billboard Hot 100, regardless if you made the year-end list or not. Nothing more, nothing less, which means album cuts are included. So without further ado, let's get into the list. Starting with number 10. Timing is always important when releasing a new single. Unfortunately, Megan Thee Stallion did not get this message. She released this song after her interview with Gayle King, which was a terrible idea because in that interview, it was clear that she was trying to win the court of public opinions involving her never-ending case with Tory Lanez. Also, she released this song when the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade. As for the single itself, it's not good. The sample of Jodeci Freaking You remix wasn't executed as well, and the chorus samples Junior Mafia's Playa Anthem. The song talks about how Megan's past relationships, whether it's with Tory or not, and how they did not understand her worth. But the line that disgusted me the most was, "My P word is the most expensive meat you'll ever eat." Once again, as if we haven't heard this line before. Even though the song is forgettable in Megan's terms, this song stuck with me, and not in a good way. Number 9. If you ever shop at Victoria's Secret, do not think of this song. Granted, Victoria's Secret is a corporate business made to body shame women, as it's run by misogynistic men. Also, the lyrics aren't bad, as she talks about how women's insecurity about their own body kind of reminds me of that episode on That's So Raven. So why is it on this list? One reason: the production and vocals kinda suck. If Jax was a decent enough singer, or if the instrumentation done better, I wouldn't care less about this song. But I do. Not Jax's fault, but it kinda is at the same time. Number 8. And the award for Most Desperate Artist goes to Post Malone. I kept going back and forth between this and Post's other song, Cooped Up, and I realized I had slightly more things to say about this one. For one, Post Malone's verse, he talks about how he's gonna pull this girl like a hammy, and in Doja Cat's verse, it's just flexing and all the things she's gonna do when they meet. But then she drops the line, "Now he got me on a leash cause he said no string." Let's be real. This only became a hit because Doja Cat being a radio darling and little else, and even then, her presence in this song was underwhelming. If it wasn't for that, this song would have been worse than it already is. Number 7. Serious question. Who asked for a comeback of BB Rexha? I thought Post Malone was the most desperate celebrity in 2022. Apparently, so is BB Rexha. This song samples the Eiffel 65 Blue, and that's one of the most iconic dance songs of all time. So the problem with this song is BB Rexha herself. Her vocals lack passion compared to Eiffel 65, and Dave Gutta's sampling is one of the most laziest he's ever done. There's just nothing to like here. It's bland, soulless, and should have stayed in the storage. Number 6. 2022 was a pretty good year for Harry Styles. He had the longest charting song for that year, and his album Harry's House was well received. So why mention him on this list? One word: sushi. Green eyes, fried rice, I could cook an egg on you. Many called this the messiest song Harry Styles ever put out, and I could see why, and it's all in the production. The trumpets on the chorus were overblown, and the percussions leading to the hook is a mess. Harry Styles doesn't help because he sounds nasally and he starts to scat in the second verse. Granted, I get what Harry Styles was trying to do. He saw how successful Watermelon Sugar was and he wanted to make another sexy food song. But listening to this was torture, and I'm surprised this wasn't higher on my list. Number 5. Oh, I'm about to make a lot of people mad with this next one. And I don't care what anyone says, to me, this song sucks.
Never take a L no more. Never take a damn thing slow.
Most of my frustrations involving this song is not with Young Gravy, as he does bring some decent punchlines, but it's what he sampled. Now that you know that Rick Astley's song sucks then and it sucks now, I never was a fan of this song, and when Young Gravy sampled it in his song, I knew it was going to give me a headache. Song sounds amateurish at best, and a gimmick, and not a good one. Number 4. Last year, Fancy Like was deemed by many as one of the worst songs of 2021. Apparently, Walker Hayes did not learn his lesson.
My daughter's off the pole, and my son's out of jail.
For anyone asking, AA stands for Alcohol Anonymous, and alcoholism is something Walker Hayes has struggled with, so you'll think he'll touch on that. Nope. Walker Hayes, should be noted that he is very limited on what he can do, singing or rapping or whatever he does. He talks about how he doesn't want his daughters to become sex workers and how he'll satisfy a wife he outright says she married down. And this is the same guy who called his wife low maintenance in Fancy Like. Like Fancy Like, this song is poorly cheap gimmick that somehow became a thing thanks to country TikTok that is outright bad. Let's leave Walker Hayes behind, please. Number 3. I wish Drake would either stop making trash or work with DJ Khaled.
I'm staying alive, I'm staying alive, I'm staying alive, I'm staying alive.
Okay, let me state the obvious. You do not need to rip off the Bee Gees. Drake, have you learned anything from Way Too Sexy? And I don't know what Lil Baby's doing on this song, but he does not sound interesting at all. Well, let's get into the lyrics. This song is basically a kiss-off anthem on how Drake and Lil Baby possibly trading this girl to smash. And I really don't have nothing else more to say. Some songs just sell themselves. Let's move on. Number 2. In 2022, we witnessed the uncancellation of Morgan Wallen. He started off by releasing Don't Think Jesus, which was a forgettable song, and Thought You Should Know, which was a slightly better attempt, but his third single was a mess.
Something you prove, something stronger than I'm used to.
Ladies and gentlemen, I bring to you 2022's version of Fancy Like. My issues with You Proof is that it's basically Wasted on You 2.0, but worse. And the fact that this song got late traction when it was on decline really baffled me. And like with the previous entry, some songs sells itself. This song outright sucks, and it's a shame that country did not have the rebound year we thought it would have. Before we get to number 1, let's take a look at a few dishonorable mentions.
Oh, finding myself.
Drake literally thought he could beat Beyonce's Break My Soul with this trashy album. I was going to include this song, but over time, it slightly grew on me.
Whip. I'm too classy for this world. Forever I'm that girl.
Many Beehives considered this the best song off her Renaissance album, but I had to beg to differ, mostly because she sampled the Right Said Fred song, one of the worst one-hit wonder songs of all time.
When we could be superstars, we've been rather wrecking cars.
Another song I was going to include, but left off because there's something about this song I don't hate. But 1 year later, I still haven't figured it out. She is super lucky this song doesn't qualify, but my question is, who gave her and this song a second chance after her controversial music era? Before we continue, if you like what you see, go ahead and hit the like button. Also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button as well. And now, let's continue with the video. Number 1. When I was compiling this list together, I really thought U-Proof was going to run away with the number 1. But then came September 22nd, 2022, when U-Proof got unseated by this garbage.
Lucky, lucky girl, she got married to a boy like you.
This song is so bad, I don't know where to begin. First of all, the production is awful, as this the type of song that would have appeared on Kanye's awful Yeezus album. Sam Smith, he's out of his element and shouldn't even think about making a song like this. Kim Petras, she shows no chemistry with Smith or even herself. In the chorus, listen, you do not have to scream your hearts out. What makes talking about this song much harder is that the fact that both artists identify as non-binary and transsexual, which means talking about this song will be much harder because my fears of triggering said community. But at the end of the day, I'm just hurt. For Sam Smith, first number 1 to be this and not Stay With Me or Lay Me Down, it's what bothers me the most, because this song Unholy is terrible, and congratulations, this has been rewarded the worst song of 2022. And that concludes my list. Tell me what you think in the comments below. Tell me what other songs you thought should have made this list. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.